Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current and latest news. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel, as always, so as I have been updating you in this last nearly a week or so, in relation to Paul Pogba, of course, as well as reports have been currently coming out from Spain that reportedly he has made a decision on his Manchester United future, and reportedly this summer Paul Pogba wants to depart Manchester United, and I think he is keen on a return either to go back to Italy, or he's keen on making a move to Spain this summer. Of course, is Paul Pogba as well. After reports have come out now saying that reportedly he's demanding, he wants to be the highest paid player at Real Madrid if he is to leave Old Trafford this summer and make the move to Real Madrid. Of course, well, so he's demanding, he wants an annual salary of around 13.65 million a year if he is to make the move to Real Madrid. Of course, well, so if this was to progress, he would be the highest paid player at Real Madrid. There's also been talks, of obviously, him potentially, maybe possibly making a return back to Juventus as well, where he did have 4 good years as well in the process. We do know that Paul Pogba is still under contract with Manchester United until 2021, of course, as well. Reports do say that he has turned down a contract offer from Manchester United as well as Paul Pogba, and obviously he's been one of our most influential players, without a shadow of a doubt, as Paul Pogba. We've seen the best of him in this sort of like 3 month period or so like that. I did say if Jose Mourinho, would have still been here, Paul Pogba, would have gone by now, because obviously Paul Pogba had a bad relationship, with Jose Mourinho. Obviously at one point I think, Real Madrid, were actually linked with him back in 2016 as well, so they were close to getting him, back in 2016 as well. But obviously, his agent Raiola, is obviously in the process of trying to find, Paul Pogba a new club as well. So reportedly the comments he's been saying, he's classified Real Madrid as a dream club, and he's described Real Madrid as a dream club. He did say they're one of the biggest clubs in the world, and he did say Real Madrid is a dream for anyone. So I think he's intending on going to Real Madrid this summer. Is Paul Pogba as well. From Manchester United's perspective, they are reluctant, to let him go this summer. Manchester United, reportedly if any offers do come for him in the summer, reportedly Manchester United, will reject any offers that if they do come for Paul Pogba this summer, because obviously Manchester United, want to do keep Paul Pogba because he's been in really, really good form. He's been providing good service to the front man. He's been playing them delicate passes through and all that as well. And when he's playing in this kind of vein and when he's playing in this kind of manner, he's one of the best midfielders in world football. Without a shadow of a doubt. Indeed, obviously we paid £89 million for him. Obviously, he's our most expensive signing. Obviously, now this is his 3rd season in the process with Manchester United as well. But I think Zinedine Zidane, is keen on getting Paul Pogba, to be quite honest with you as well. Because obviously Zinedine Zidane is planning for investment in the Real Madrid team this summer. Obviously Zinedine Zidane has just recently been reappointed Real Madrid manager, of course, as well. And obviously he's planning for the investment this summer. Reportedly, Florentino Perez is giving Zinedine Zidane a spending spree of around £300 million to spend this summer, of course, well, because there could be some players, that could leave Real Madrid this summer. Zinedine Zidane has signed a contract, don't forget, with Real Madrid until 2022 as well. So I think reportedly Paul Pogba now could reportedly leave Manchester United this summer, after the recent comments he said about Real Madrid and all that. He did initially say that he remains happy at Manchester United, at the moment as well, because he feels right settled at Manchester United. But I don't think he's planning, to spend the rest of his playing career in England, Paul Pogba. I think he wants to either make a move to Spain, or he wants to make a return to Italy, of course, as well. So reportedly now, I think he's on around 8 point something million a year with Manchester United, but reportedly he's demanding, he wants a huge pay rise, of course, if he is to leave Manchester United, and if he is to join Real Madrid this summer. So reportedly, if he's to go to Real Madrid or Juventus, reportedly he's demanding that he wants an annual salary of around 13.65 million, reportedly as well, if he is to leave Manchester United, of course, as well. But reportedly he's decided he wants to leave Manchester United this summer, Paul Pogba as well. So yeah, there's been a lot of talks going on about that. His agent Raiola is obviously in the process of finding Paul Pogba a new club as well, as we all know. So there's been a lot of news going on about that as well. So reportedly Real Madrid are the favourites, to get him this summer, of course, as well, because obviously Real Madrid are in search, for getting a midfielder in. Of course, Paul Pogba's 25, 26, he has still got a lot of years ahead of him, of course, to be quite honest with him as well. But obviously Manchester United probably will be reluctant, to let him go this summer, of course, as well. But he's still under contract with Manchester United, don't forget, until 2021, of course, as well. So I think he really likes Real Madrid, of what he's, been saying about them. He admits playing for Zinedine Zidane at Real Madrid, would be a dream for him, of course, as well. So he could be on his way out of Manchester United this summer. And of course, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer himself said, obviously we know players are going to leave Manchester United this summer. Obviously, there's still some contract renewals to sort out. I think Solskjaer wants about 4 players to come to Manchester United this summer as well. So yeah, Paul Pogba I think is going to be on his way out this summer reportedly as well. So he's demanding that he wants an annual salary of around 13.65 million. So if he does get this at Real Madrid, he will be potentially the highest paid player of course as well at Madrid. And obviously we know reports have been coming out about Ander Herrera as well. Could he potentially possibly leave Manchester United in the summer? Because obviously his contractual situation, obviously so far in the process, Manchester United have not come to an agreement, to get Ander Herrera a new contract of course as well. Obviously I think he's got like 3 months left on his current contract. His contract, comes to his contract expires at the end of the season, does Ander Herrera's as well. I think he's unsure about his Manchester United future. He's Ander Herrera, if I'm going to be quite honest with you guys, he's unsure about his Manchester United future. This is now his 5th season now. Sorry guys, right, that just went off. Yeah, PSG have expressed an interest in Ander Herrera. Of course, as reports, he wants wage increase £1,000 a week. He did say PSG are also reportedly, willing to offer him a 3-year deal as well. But of course, reports did say that, obviously, Ander Herrera, it's PSG's transfer of interest. I think he said PSG's transfer of interest is logical as well. And this is what, basically Ander Herrera said. So hopefully somewhere along the line, Manchester United can come to an agreement, to get Ander Herrera a new contract as well. Because this is 5th season now at Manchester United, of course, as well. Obviously, PSG, wants someone to partner up alongside Marco Verratti in their midfield. And obviously, they've identified Ander Herrera as a good target as well. But I think Ander Herrera, recent reports did say he wanted to stay at Manchester United. He was keen on signing a contract extension. Some reports did say he was close, to joining Paris Saint-Germain as well. Was Ander Herrera, of course, well. But he has had rough patches, so far during his tenure as a Manchester United player. But since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's coming, he's been playing more regular in the team. He's been fitting that midfield trio very, very well. He's been breaking up the play very, very well as Ander Herrera, of course, as well. So Manchester United, potentially, wouldn't want to lose him, to be quite honest with you as well. But he does come to a contract. He comes to an end of his current contract at the end of the season. So hopefully in the process, Manchester United can come to an agreement somewhere along the line, to get Ander Herrera a new contract. Obviously, he's just recovered from a hamstring injury as well. Obviously, he wasn't getting the game time he would have liked, when Jose Mourinho was here and all that. And I think he was becoming frustrated about this, with Ander Herrera, of course, as well. But this is now his 5th season in the process with Manchester United. And obviously, PSG are going to see him as a replacement for Adrien Rabiot, because obviously, Adrien Rabiot's looking likely he's going to leave PSG this summer. Obviously, for a long time, Barcelona have actually, been favourites, to land Adrien Rabiot, of course, as well. Because obviously now Barcelona have confirmed the signing of Frankie de Jong, of course, as well. They confirmed the signing of him last summer for £65 million to Ajax. Obviously, he's going to be officially a Barcelona player in the new season as well. So obviously, it's a year in advance, of course, as well. And Barcelona have got quite a few midfielders, to be quite honest with you as well. But a few teams have expressed their interest in Adrien Rabiot. As we all know, it says Liverpool have been interested. Arsenal have also been interested in Adrien Rabiot as well, and he's still young, Adrien Rabiot. He spent the majority of his career with PSG, but obviously he's refused to sign a new contract. PSG have withdrawn him from their squad, and he's set to leave this summer when his contract expires. And I think Solskjaer wanted Manchester. He told Ed Woodward, that he wants, Adrien Rabiot at Manchester United, of course, as well. So obviously PSG are going to see Herrera as a good replacement, for Adrien Rabiot, of course, as well. But I think Herrera, I think he could, still remain loyal to Manchester United, of course, because he's getting the best out of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, his Herrera as well, and he's been very, very consistent indeed. Reports are coming out saying that Arsenal are set to rival PSG as well, for Ander Herrera. So it said Arsenal have also, showed an interest in Herrera. Obviously, is still in the process of rebuilding the Arsenal team. Obviously, their top 4 ambitions are still alive now, because obviously they're sitting in the top 4 at the moment as well. So from Arsenal's perspective, they either want to finish in the top 4 or somewhere along the line, succeed in the Europa League as well. Of course, that in that way, it'll invest more money into their club. And obviously, Arsenal are going to get a spending spree this summer. Of course, there's areas in their squad, they do need, they need to strengthen up as well. They definitely need a defender, so they need to address their defensive deficiencies. Arsenal know Aaron Ramsey's going this summer as well. So reportedly, they've just showed an interest in Ander Herrera, but I don't think Man United, will want to lose him, and I don't think we're prepared to let him go to an arch rival, of course, as well. But obviously, Arsenal and PSG are obviously, planning to get him on a free transfer this summer, of course, as well. So there has been a lot of speculation, going on about that as well. But recent reports did say he wanted to stay at Manchester United. He wanted to sign a new contract extension with Manchester United. But Man United, I think, are still in the process of trying to get him a new contract at the club as well, Ander Herrera. So that reports, to update you. The 3 players that basically to Ed Wood with the three players, that he does want to get rid of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he did say these three players. Wait a minute. So we opted against that decision to trigger that 1 year extension, of course, well. So I think Valencia is on his way out of Manchester United this summer, of course, as well. This is now his 10th season now in the process with Manchester United's Antonio Valencia. He's made over 300 odd appearances in all competitions, of course, and he's been one of the longest-serving players here at Manchester United, of course, well. So I think he's on his way out in the summer, and I do think we need someone on that right-hand side, that's young and ambitious, of course, as well. But I think Valencia is definitely on his way out in the summer, and Solskjaer does actually, want to get rid of Antonio Valencia in the summer because he's told Ed Woodward, the three players, he wants to get rid of in the summer. I think Marcus Rojo's on his way out of Manchester United as well. Again, endured a very, very difficult time at Manchester United as Marcus Rojo. He struggled to get run of games under his belt. He isn't first choice anywhere. And obviously, considering the string of injuries he's had as a Manchester United player, of course, it's affected his Manchester United, playing career, to be quite honest with you as well. And I do think he'll probably leave in the summer as well, to be quite honest with you. I think Darmin's on his way out of Manchester United as well because he's endured a very, very difficult time at the club as well as Matteo Darmin. So I think he's on his way out of Manchester United. Sanchez definitely on his way out this summer as well. Sanchez, of course, is still out at the moment with a knee injury, of course. Well, he's suffered quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player, as Alexis Sanchez, only been here just over a year, of course, as well. Considering his substantial wages he's on, Alexis Sanchez, it is going to be hard, to find a potential, buyer for Alexis Sanchez this summer as well. So potentially we may consider sanctioning him out on loan, or Sanchez, may even may be willing to take a wage cut, so Manchester United, can sanction Sanchez off. But I think he'll end up, losing that number 7 shirt, to be quite honest. He's been very, very inconsistent as a Manchester United player. Hasn't fitted under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's system, of course, as well. And he's age 30 now. He has lost that yard of place. But when he has played, he just looks so restricted. He just looks as though he hasn't been getting that freedom. And he just hasn't settled in as a Manchester United player as well. So he has been very, very disappointing. I think Solskjaer's lost faith in him. He's lost trustworthiness as well. But we know mainly anywhere he isn't first choice, Sanchez. But when he has been given the opportunity, he's been very, very... when he has been given the opportunity, he's been very, very disappointing indeed as Alexis Sanchez, as we all know. So I think Man United are going to get rid of him in the summer, of course, as well. So yeah, players are going to leave Manchester United in the summer, of course, well. Reportedly, we're going to get around £200 million to spend this summer. Obviously, Solskjaer is focusing on more attacking additions to the squad as well, because obviously we're all aware that Manchester United do need an experienced and world-class centre-back, of course, as well. And reportedly, did say Solskjaer had been given £80 million, to go on and buy a defender this summer. But now there's been a change of transfer plans, reportedly Solskjaer did say he's not interested in buying any defenders, reportedly because he wants to give our current defenders a second chance, to impress and improve themselves. And to be quite fair, we have really to be fair, we have really improved. We have really improved, defensively, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's coming. So maybe we may not want to bring a central defender this summer, but Solskjaer's priority, is to recommend, a right winner, to come to Manchester United as well. So I think that's his priority. That's Manchester United's priority as well, as we all know. But I think Solskjaer, as I did say, wants to get around 4 signings this summer. Obviously, he's been in regular, negotiations with Ed Woodward. What players, what players should come in. What players should go. And all that as well. But obviously, our top 5 ambitions are still alive, to be quite honest, because there's quite a few teams going for that top 4. It is essential that we get top 4, win the Champions League, one of them, so we can get into Champions League football for next season. So in that aspect, it makes us have more of a competitive summer transfer window as well. But as we all know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is on the verge of getting the Manchester United job permanently. Reports have been coming out saying that he's set to be appointed Manchester United manager permanently, and it could be as early as this week, as reports did currently mention as well, because he's done more than enough, to get the Manchester United job on a full-time basis. Of course, won 14 out of 19 games in all competitions, and we'll only have to pay a compensation package of around 7 or is it £8 million, to mould, to give him the job on a full-time basis, and that's very, very cheap, to be quite honest with you as well. And we do know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, let's be honest, he hasn't got a great managerial pedigree, or he hasn't really had any long tenures as manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. But if he does get when he does get the Manchester United job full-time, obviously he'll plan to have a long tenure as Manchester United manager, of course, as well. But he's done a really good job as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. So hopefully he can recommend the right players, to come to Manchester United this summer as well. And obviously Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team, of course. Obviously, he's got to get the right players coming in the summer, and obviously, hopefully, he can buy into our history as well. Can Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. But obviously, hopefully, somewhere along there, we can get that top 4, of course. Well, if we don't get top 4, we've got to hope that we do win the Champions League, of course, as well. But Solskjaer Solskjaer is, getting the best out of these players, which is very, very good indeed, which I'm really, really impressed to see. And, the players are playing for him, and, he's getting the best out of these players. He's following Alex Ferguson's philosophy as well, which is very, very good. And he has brought the fear factor back to the club as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And it's good to see, that he has a lot of belief in the young players as well, as I said. So it's good to see that the young players are getting Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's trust, and he has given everybody the chance, as he did say when he came in, the young players, the fringe players, and all that, which is very, very good. But we've done really, really well, especially, most recently, considering the amount of injuries, that Manchester United have had as well. As well. So potentially we know there's a few targets. We know that Manchester United, have targeted of course, as well. So Solskjaer said, he wants around 4 signings this summer, of course. I think he may be keen on bringing a right back to Manchester United, to be quite honest with you as well. I think he's in search for the midfielder as well, so he wants to have depth in that midfield. There's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think on the left-hand side, Manchester United are okay, because we do know that majority of our attack is coming from the left-hand side, but we are still lacking in areas, even though we're not parking the bus under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, like Louis van Gaal, claim that he does. Louis van Gaal came out and basically, said that Solskjaer parks the bus and plays defensively just like Jose Mourinho. So he's saying his style of play and his, brand of football and that, is absolutely identical, to Jose Mourinho's, of course, well. But we still do leak a lot of chances, of course, as well. But there's no way on earth that we park the bus under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. So Van Gaal in that aspect is talking absolute nonsense, of course, as well. So as I've updated you, the targets Manchester United, of course, are linked to him. We do know our number one target for the summer is obviously, Borussia Dortmund's Jadon Sancho, of course, well. And there's been a narrative going on about this, for a long, long time now, that Manchester United are really, really interested in Jadon Sancho. And when we do need someone on that right-hand side, that can play between the bylines, that can put crosses into the box as well, and fit under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer system, I think Jadon Sancho would be the perfect solution, in my opinion, to be quite honest with you, as well. Obviously, we've got the financial power to meet his valuation. Reportedly, Manchester United could end up spending up to £100 million for Jadon Sancho this summer. Recent reports have said, that Borussia Dortmund have said, that Jadon Sancho is not for sale. Reportedly, they've ruled out selling Jadon Sancho this summer. But reportedly, they did say our interest in Jadon Sancho is completely irrelevant. And this is what Borussia Dortmund have basically said. So if we were to come to the agreement to get him in the summer, obviously, we'd make him the most expensive English footballer ever. Potentially, maybe make him our most expensive signing as well. Jadon Sancho's done really, really well in Germany with Dortmund. He's been there a couple of years now. He's played really, really well for them. And Borussia Dortmund, don't forget, I've been known for doing business with their players. They did it with Aubameyang, 58, 59 million. They did it with Ousmane Dembele, 105, 106 million, as well, as we all currently know. They've obviously sold Pulisic for £47 million to Chelsea, but he'll be officially playing for Chelsea next season as well. So we do know he's going to cost us staggering amounts of money, but he's our number one priority target for the summer. He is still under contract, don't forget, with Dortmund until 2022 as well. He's 2022 as well is Jadon Sancho, but Borussia Dortmund only paid about £8 million for Manchester City a couple of years ago as well, and he did serve a couple of years at Manchester City, did Jadon Sancho, as we all know. But obviously, he never got into the first team with City. He wasn't guaranteed to get that regular first team football, and this is the main reason that he left Manchester City, Jadon Sancho, of course, as well, and actually went to Borussia Dortmund as well. So I think Man United could possibly get Jadon Sancho this summer, and I think he complement our attacking line very, very well indeed. It has said Man United officials have been, have approached Jadon Sancho's representatives regarding a transfer this summer, of course. Well, I think from his own perspective, he's maybe keen on coming to England, of course. He said that a few teams he's attracted interest from quite a few teams across Europe, as well as Jadon Sancho. But yeah, he is Manchester United's number one priority target for the summer as well. And we desperately need a right winger. Jadon Sancho's 19, he's still got a lot of years ahead of him. Only broke into the England first team last year as well, so he's still an upcoming future, and he's an upcoming player, is Jadon Sancho, of course, as well. So it'd be fantastic if he was to come to Manchester United, if I'm going to be quite honest with you, as well. And obviously, Solskjaer's showed an interest in quite a few wide men, to be quite honest with you, as well. We do know that Manchester United, of course, are keeping tracks on Joe Felix, that Benfica youngster. I've been keeping you up to date on as well. He's only young, he's only 19 years of age. He's got a buyout clause reportedly of around £105 million, and A few teams have expressed their interest in Joe Felix because there was a narrative going on about it back in January that Liverpool had a £61 million bid turned down. Manchester United have had negotiations, with Benfica and all that as well. But I think recent reports did say that he remains happy, with Benfica, does Joe Felix, because he's a winger. He's only 19 years of age. He only broke into the Benfica first team last year, but reportedly since he's broken into the first team, his performances have been really, really good indeed. So potentially from Benfica's perspective, potentially, they'd want to keep him as well. But it said Liverpool have been interested. Chelsea have also been interested in Joe Felix as well. So he's a potential another target that Manchester United have also been interested in as well. And obviously other winners Manchester United have been interested in. We do know that, Gareth Bale has also, been mentioned in the media as well. And obviously Man United have obviously, actually been long admirers of Gareth Bale. We know he's not a priority, but we know we've been hearing the rumours since like the David Moyes era, that Man United, have been linked to Gareth Bale and all this. But obviously it hasn't happened, of course, as well. And I think Real Madrid, do actually want to get rid of Gareth Bale this summer, of course, as well. Florentino Perez, obviously, wants to get him out of the club this summer. And obviously, there's been rumours about him leaving for a long time, Gareth Bale, of course, as well. But obviously now, Zinedine Zidane's at Real Madrid. Obviously, Zinedine Zidane's got a bad relationship with Gareth Bale, so Zinedine Zidane will obviously, want Bale out of Real Madrid this summer as well. Obviously, Gareth Bale, I wouldn't want him at Manchester United anyway. If you'd have asked me maybe a year, 2 or 3 years ago, I'd have probably I'd bit your hand off, to be quite honest with you as well, because obviously he was one of the best players in the world, 2 or 3 years ago was Gareth Bale, of course, as well. But obviously now he's aging up. He's Gareth Bale, he's nearly 30 years of age. Of course, I have reservations about him as well because he's injury prone, so he's got a record of injuries as well. I think he's potentially the highest paid player in world football as well. He's Gareth Bale, to be quite honest with you as well. But if he did get the opportunity to come back to the Premier League, probably, Gareth Bale, probably would, to be quite honest with you as well. He is still under contract with Real Madrid until 2022, is Gareth Bale as well. But this is 6th season now in the process with Real Madrid. Obviously, all his silverware he's won has obviously, come at Real Madrid as well. But obviously, his ratio is still very, very good. Is Gareth Bale's, but I think he's on the decline now, and I wouldn't want him at Manchester United, to be quite honest with you as well. And obviously, Real Madrid, if they were to sell him this summer, they probably maybe still would get 55, maybe 60 million pounds for him, but I think it's going to be hard for Real Madrid, to recoup the initial 86 million pounds, they paid for him from Tottenham, 6 years ago, of course, as well. But I wouldn't want Bale, to come to Manchester United as well. But we're potentially being linked to him. He is a winger, he can play in each wing. He can actually play as a left back as well. Can Gareth Bale. Of course, as well. But no, I wouldn't want him at Manchester United, to be quite honest with you, as well. And obviously, we know there's been reports, obviously about Philippe Coutinho as well. The rumours do continue to persist about that, but I don't think actually Manchester United, are keen on signing, Philippe Coutinho, to be quite honest with you. Even though there's been a lot of speculation of him reportedly leaving Barcelona this summer after he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time so far with Barcelona. He's been at Barcelona just over a year now, as Philippe Coutinho, as we all know, he's been there just over a year, because obviously Barcelona paid £142 million to him from Liverpool in January of last year. Of course, well, so he's been at Barcelona about 14 months now as Coutinho, and he's really, really struggled. He's been inconsistent. He's struggled for game time at Barcelona, of course, and he's failed to replicate the form, that he did at Liverpool. Because don't forget, he did have 5 great years with Liverpool, did Coutinho and all that. The reports in January that Man United had approached Philippe Coutinho's representatives, of course, as well. And obviously, reports were saying he's spoken to some Manchester United players as Coutinho regarding the move to Old Trafford this summer, of course, as well. But I don't think Man United are keen on getting him. He's not a priority for Manchester United. Coutinho, he's still like 26 years of age, and he has still got a lot of years ahead of him, to quite honest. He's mainly an attacking mid. He can actually play as a winger as well, can Coutinho. But I wouldn't want him at Manchester United, to be quite honest with you. But maybe he would be a good addition to the team. But I don't think Manchester United, are keen on actually signing the Brazilian, of course, as well. And of course, he is the third most expensive player in world football, behind Neymar and Mbappe, as well as Philippe Coutinho. There's also been reports saying that Manchester United have also, been interested in that Bruno Fernandes, that Sporting Lisbon midfielder. I've been keeping you up to date on as well. He's only very, very young. I think he's about 24 years of age, is Bruno Fernandes. He plays for Sporting Lisbon. Reportedly, he's had a good season this season with Sporting Lisbon as well. And reportedly, Manchester United are reportedly, interested in Bruno Fernandes. He's 24 years of age. He's Portuguese, reportedly. He actually spent, the majority of his career in Italy before. He was an ex-Sampdoria player. He's an ex-Udinese player. He's this Bruno Fernandes as well. I think he's actually a central midfielder, is it? Or something like that as well. Don't really know much about him. Reports were saying a while back that Man United, could reportedly get him in a cut price transfer this summer. Reportedly, Bruno Fernandes, based on, I think, Sporting Lisbon's financial problems or something like that. I think he's got a release clause in his Sporting Lisbon deal. I think his release clause is around £90 million, something like that. He is still under contract with Sporting Lisbon till 2023 as well, is Bruno Fernandes. So reportedly, he's another player, that Manchester United have also been interested in as well. So he's another player that's been mentioned in the media. Of course, as well, our number one, one of our priorities is obviously, Napoli's Koulibaly as well, because as I've updated you, recent reports have suggested out in relation to Koulibaly that reportedly Manchester United have been informed that, Koulibaly will be, will cost us in the region of around £130 million this summer if Napoli are willing to do any business, for the players. So reportedly, we've been informed that, we'll have to pay around £130 million to get the pursuit of Koulibaly this summer. And the Napoli president's confirmed this, so if they're willing to do any business, Man United are going to have to pay in the region of at least £130 million for Koulibaly this summer. Obviously, we've been long admirers of Koulibaly. We've been linked to him for the past 2 windows, of course, as well, but we've failed to get him. Obviously, in January, Manchester United held negotiations. Manchester United in the process had, 3 bids turned down for Koulibaly as well. The recent one was obviously, £95 million. It wasn't too long ago he signed a new deal. He is under contract with Napoli till 2023, but potentially, if we were to get him, obviously, it would make him the most expensive defender in the world. Obviously, make him our most expensive signing all in all as well. And obviously, he'd address our defensive deficiencies fantastically well, and he'd look really, really good alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line, would Koulibaly as well, because we need someone that can go alongside Lindelof, because Rojo's looking like he's on his way out. Bay's really, really improved, but he's obviously been in and out of the team this season, but Bay's still got great potential, of course, as well. But we need someone that can go alongside Lindelof, and, I think Koulibaly would be a great leader in our back line. If he was to come, he shows that ability to play out from the back. He gallops forward well, he's good in the air, there's areas of his game he adapts fantastically well, indeed, and he's a world-class centre-back, and he's tall as well, which is beneficial. He's 27 years of age, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. His performances under Maurizio Sarri were good. Now his performances under Ancelotti are very, very good, so he's grown and developed and flourished, fantastically well, and he's been at Napoli a number of years now as Koulibaly, but Man United, of course, are heavily linked with him, so Manchester United are willing to pay up to the £130 million for Koulibaly this summer. Of course, it's going to take in a bid in the excess of at least £130 million to convince Napoli to do any business. So if we're not willing to pay that, obviously, they're probably the deal's off for Koulibaly as well. They could even maybe demand more. The run report saying, they could demand up to £150 million, Napoli for Koulibaly as well. But Napoli only paid £6 or £7 million for him back in 2014 from Genk, of course, well. So I think this is his 5th season now in the process with Napoli as well. But obviously, there's been other defenders, that Manchester United have been interested in. But as obviously recent reports have said, earlier on this month, that defensive area is not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priority now. Solskjaer is focused on more attacking additions to the squad, and one of his priorities is getting a right winner to Manchester United. So reportedly did say Man United will hold off buying a defender this summer, and we're focusing on getting a right winner, and we're focusing on obviously other areas in the squad, where Solskjaer feels as though where Manchester United do need to strengthen up, of course, as well. As I did say to you, as I did obviously say, there's still some contract renewals to sort out as well. As I did currently say as well. So I did say obviously Man United have got Watford coming up this weekend, Old Trafford, of course, as well. The good news is players are set to be in contention. Luke Shaw, Marcus Rashford, Martial and Matic are all set to be in contention, because obviously all of them withdrew from international duty, of course, as well, which is good news. Valencia is set to recover from injury, I think. So is Bay, so is Darmian, but obviously all of them will be unlikely to feature at the weekend against Watford as well. So that's some very, very good news indeed. So it's essential that we get back to winning ways against Watford at the weekend after suffering back-to-back defeats, before the international break, to Wolves in the Cup and Arsenal in the league as well. So it is essential that we've got to get back to winning ways, of course, as well. So yeah, as I did come to say, guys, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as it's reportedly said that he's set to be appointed Manchester United manager permanently sometime this week. It did say it could be as early as this week as well. But Solskjaer's the right man for Manchester United. You've got a manager who obviously was a great player for 11 years at Manchester United. So he basically knows the club inside out, and he knows what he's doing. Does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. And now we have cooled our interest in Pochettino, as we all know as well. So I don't think we're no longer interested in Pochettino, even though for a long time, Ed Woodward, it was Ed Woodward's number one, was Mauricio Pochettino, of course, as well. So yeah, definitely Solskjaer the right man for Manchester United, of course, as well. His philosophy is very, very good, as we all know, as well. So that's mainly everything to update with. So as I said at the beginning of the video, in relation to Paul Pogba, a lot of people, would have been giving you a lot of keeping you up to date, what's going on with Paul Pogba and all that as well. So reports are now saying in relation to Paul Pogba, reportedly he's demanding that he wants to be the highest paid player if he is to go to Real Madrid. So if he, reportedly Paul Pogba is demanding that he wants an annual wage of around 13.65 million, reportedly, if he's to either go to Real Madrid or Juventus, reportedly. So if he's to leave Old Trafford, Paul Pogba is demanding a significant pay rise, reportedly, as well. But reports have come out from Spain suggesting that reportedly Paul Pogba's made a decision, and reportedly he wants to leave Manchester United this summer, and he's seeking for the new challenges. Paul Pogba, so he's either going to return back to Italy or he's going to go to Real Madrid, and I think he'll go to Real Madrid because Real Madrid, obviously the favourites to land him. He's been talking a lot about Real Madrid, as Paul Pogba and all that, saying it would be a dream to play for them, and all that, and he admits playing for Zinedine Zidane, it would be a dream for him and all that, and he's talking about it'd be a dream for anyone, it would be a dream for anyone, playing at Real Madrid. So potentially, he said a lot of stuff, in regards to Real Madrid. So you can just see that he's intending going to Real Madrid this summer, of course. Well, but Man United are going to stand firm. We're going to be ruthless, and I don't think we're willing to let him go. But obviously, himself and Raiola obviously processing on finding Paul Pogba a new club this summer, of course, as well. But Man United will continue to try and convince him to maybe, sign a new contract at Manchester United, of course, as well. But he's still in the contract here till 2021, of course, as well. So what he's saying is if he's to go to Real Madrid, Paul Pogba, he's demanding that he wants an annual wage of around 13.65 million. So he wants a significant pay rise, does Paul Pogba as well. And obviously, he want this if he makes a return to Juventus, of course, as well. But I don't want Paul Pogba to leave because he's been one of our most influential players. Mainly he's been getting the freedom to express himself, and he's been playing really, really well, indeed. So I wouldn't want Paul Pogba to leave, of course, as well. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribing to the channel,